So what, you may wonder, does an additional £25,000 over the entry-level Audi R8 Spyder's £130,000 asking price get you? Membership of the 600 bhp club. For one, because a heightened compression ratio for the mid-mounted 5.2-litre V10 has released an extra 69 bhp and 15 pounds-foot. There's also a 25 kilograms weight saving, although, at 1,695 kilograms, the car is hardly dainty, as well as carbon ceramic brakes, sports seats and no shortage of carbon fiber trim, both inside and out. The resulting performance figures, more on which in a moment, are now a match for anything this side of a McLaren 720S. The biggest visual differentiator Plus cars get is a sweeping gurney flap on the trailing edge of the rear deck. This, with the carbon rear diffuser, helps develop a claimed 100 kilograms of downforce over the rear axle at top speed. Our test car is also presented in handsome Monterey Green, £3,400, with a quilted cognac brown interior, £7,000. Both are Audi exclusive options. You could, for no additional cost, have the carbon sills and spoiler painted the same color as the rest of the car. As per the standard Spyder, suspension remains by double wishbones all round, with the Quattro 4-wheel drive system capable of sending all available torque to either axle. The rear operates through a mechanical limited slip differential. The characteristics of that driveline, as well as for the throttle mapping, steering, exhaust system, optional adaptive dampers and gearbox, can be altered through Audi's familiar Drive Select function, with a choice of comfort, auto and dynamic for each parameter. In addition to 3 umbrella programs for dry, wet and snow, the permutations are plentiful, and an individual mode usefully allows you to switch the car into your desired setup at the press of a button. Those of a shy disposition will abhor the suggestion, but we'd wager that all but the most steadfastly introverted readers would eventually give in to the charms of this steroidal roadster. You need only lower the 44 kilograms fabric roof and engage dynamic mode along with the optional sports exhaust. Your right foot will do the rest, as it involuntarily sends the most soulful series production power plant on sale to its ear-splitting 8,700 revolutions per minute finale at every opportunity. Lifting out of the throttle offers no respite, functioning as little more than a cue for the engine to drench its exhaust manifold with fuel. The resultant pops and bang are decadent, disorderly and destined to raise a smile time after time. The raw figures, 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.3 seconds and a top speed of 203 miles per hour, are monstrous for a car that'll happily cruise along with apathy of a Volkswagen Polo Blue Motion if that's what you ask of it. The R8 Spyder V10 Plus feels good for them, too, not least because of that extraordinary exhaust note, which is overlaid with ever-present cam screen. Thanks to the engine's substantial displacement, pickup is also effortlessly potent at seemingly any point in the rev range. As we've come to expect, Audi's 7-speed S-tronic dual-clutch transmission operates with crisp dexterity, swapping between one or more ratios at the flick of a paddle, of which we'd like a slightly more engaging action. Left in automatic mode, the car will drop gears with almost prescient haste if, say, an overtaking opportunity should unexpectedly arise, before returning the engine to hushed serenity in a similar fashion. Simply, engine and gearbox are a match made in heaven. Indeed, increased proximity to the dry-sump V10 Plus engine, stubbornly, wonderfully atmospheric as its rivals bolt for the turbos, is probably reason enough to buy this car. Which is just as well, because it can be difficult to make a case for it as a serious tool for enthusiasts. For one, moving the rear bulkhead forward to accommodate the roof mechanism means the seats will either go adequately low or extend adequately far back, but they will not do both. This car can therefore feel cramped inside, despite its clean-cut opulence, although not to the extent that most people wouldn't eventually find a way to get comfortable. Committed drivers will nevertheless require a more natural position. More seriously, the light steering, mercilessly stiff chassis,
even with our car's optional magnetic ride set to comfort, which is advisable at all times on British roads, and over-servoed brakes also mean you can't always lean on an unsettled front axle with quite the confidence you'd like. That doesn't particularly matter in the dry, where the Quattro drivetrain, shod with 305 section tires at the rear axle on our test car, develops almost unbreakable grip and traction. However, on damp roads it can be unnerving, particularly given the car's weight. Ultimately, the Spyder V10 Plus is some way off the richly communicative carbon-tub chassis of the McLaren 570S Spyder, although it is the more easily lovable car of the two. The same applies to any of the Audi's turbocharged rivals, except perhaps the Ferrari 488 Spyder.